Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Okay, what we're doing at the moment is we are looking at the power grid because I wanted to see the impact of our changes, and I think what you're going to find, well, I've already actually done this test, so we can see that ripping out a little bit of the solar just here, which is what we did because this is by iron smelting 1, reduced our 63 gigawatts total potential down to 62.7. Now I just want to see how effective the recharge of the accumulators is during our cycle. So that is what we are observing. Looks like, no, there you go. So it didn't quite get to the full charge before this starts dropping away. So I think it will actually fully charge up, but we're right at the limit. And the reason I'm doing this is because when we do the rest of the oil, and in fact when we do some of this rebuild to some of the other iron stacks, we are going to push our energy consumption even more, and if we're already at the limit, we obviously can't do that. So this is kind of a long 46. This is, in fact, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, normally you see this drop away. There you go. I'm not 100% sure if it actually reached the maximum that it's supposed to. So, unfortunately, what we need to do is we need to enlarge our solar once again. Solar will detract from our ability to maintain our science. Science looks like it's at 6,000, or it's just gone back to 6,000 a minute. But once we start removing the solar, it'll be hard to keep space science at the rate that's necessary to ensure that that remains the case. But unfortunately we need to do that because our power is stretched, as you've just seen. We do have a bit of space here, so I'll probably, this coal I don't really need. We need to landfill over these areas. I don't know if we'll get down as far as this one. Probably just draw a line there, do all that block as solar. It's not necessarily the most interesting thing to see. I have already sent the landfill train. All these lakes aren't going to really dent our landfill supply. We're still at 47 million. It drops very, very slowly now with the huge multiplier that we're putting on it. So I guess what I'll do is I will landfill this over, and I'm not going to worry about whether we go over these ore fields. I think as we did up here, we're just going to go straight over the top. If we ever need them, we can always dig them out again. It's not that big a deal, but we certainly need to get some more panels down ASAP. So I will show you what I've done once it is done. See you then, or see you shortly, shall I say. And back. So guys, this is what happens when you're fully stressed and you stress it slightly more electrically. So I have just enabled all of these bots to start, well, they're filling in here. I've started filling in these lakes, but I've collapsed the electrical grid with the extra stress. Even though these are now coming into daylight, just this extra building has proven to be too much for the system, and of course that's probably doing pretty bad things to our science. Right now, on a 5-second basis, it's probably, well, it's going to start dropping away, I would imagine. Although with a bit of luck, we are actually back in action, but we won't get a full charge if that's where the cycle's at. So yeah, that's again reinforcing why we need this extra solar, unfortunately. But never mind. I will next time. I'll end this sort of update now, and when we get to when it's all done, basically, I'll show you the result. And hopefully we won't need to touch solar again after that. I keep saying that, but we seem to keep needing to. Anyway, see you soon. And back. And several things. First of all, I'm not actually by the rockets, which is why you can't hear them, but we are zeroing in on the 20,000 satellites launched, which and I don't know if you've seen that before in a factory, but I certainly haven't seen a factory, any other factory launch 20,000 satellites. Maybe there is one, but I simply don't know of it. Anyway, we're about to hit 20,000. That is a bit of a milestone. I have finished the exercise of laying down the solar panels. They're not all in place just yet, but I mean, we can quickly see where we're up to. We're now up to 63.3 gigawatts, so we've improved that by roughly 0.6 of a gigawatt so far. There's only 10 more rockets to launch. That shouldn't take very long to do at the rate they're going. And you can even see them finishing the rocket parts very quickly as well. So 9 more rockets to 20,000. So what I'm going to do is we'll just see in this milestone, because it is something of an achievement, and then we will go and have a look at the solar field, see where that's at, and then we'll have a look at what we are working on from this point forward for the immediate next project, because we're probably not quite ready to do the northeastern oil just yet. I think I want the solar settled down first. We're about to get a bit of a fancy launch, so I'll just wait for a few of these to launch and then have a quick look at what's outstanding in our requests. Certainly over the time that they've been running, they're now definitely not all doing it in sequence. Let's just have a look. So it's over the page again, unfortunately, but what can we see here? There's plastic appearing a few times, green, more plastic, iron, green, actually oil, Southwest oil. Only one steel, but there is definitely a bit more iron. So iron is something that we still need to attend to, and that is why we're actually going to do a little bit more of the stacks adjustment. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 will probably bring it up to the 20,000, and we'll move on from the rockets. Oh, and this is obviously hurting even more because of invoking so many construction robots doesn't really help it. But I think our science is being pretty healthy just at the moment as well. So 19,996 satellites launched. That'll be 997, 998. Unfortunately in slow motion because of all of our building going on. 999. And this guy here will be lucky number 20,000. 19,999, 20,000 satellites launched. There you go, guys. And it's certainly not going to stop there. Okay, so let us go up to our solar field. As you can see, we haven't actually built out that much of it yet. I have built over this, even though there is an oil patch there. If we need to, and we may well, there's a couple of oil patches here, there's one over here. We don't need to go to this one specially. So basically there is, you can kind of see it along here until we lose radar. It stops somewhere here and comes out like that and is all the way up here as well. But the robots will have to deal with that. There's basically 3,000 working on it. It's interesting that it's not all of the construction robots. Not sure why that is, but we can just leave that and it should take care of itself. Eventually power will sort itself out, and that should help with the UPS as well. So project 2, as you noted, there was some iron in this list. I mean, this is iron. I think iron. Solar inputs could be anything. So I do need to revamp this at some point. But because we need more iron, I think this definitely works. There are 9 more iron plate trains coming in here than there used to be. Let's just have a look at just how many there are. In fact, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 31. There's actually 31 iron plate trains coming in here, and as you can see, none of them are having to sit around. They're all being refueled very quickly. And on this side, it is working as well. We are getting the the one you might be the most concerned about, I guess, would be this one, but if we wait a minute or two, you should see that the pre-stackers will refill. They can only do one going up and one going down at a time. This one is almost too slow, but fortunately not quite. And we should be seeing another one coming up here at any time game, and also another one coming down here to make up for the fact that this pre-stacker is missing one. This one looks like it's coming down to this pre-stacker. That one actually needs a train right now, and this one's just going to go straight up there, so it's not really missing a beat. In fact, we may even need more trains on this route. The copper that we were waiting for, 148k, it's it's dying fast. Okay, so we need more iron. We need to improve this stacker because this one does not work as well. It's not bad for these central ones, but when the ones at the edges depart, there can be longer gaps. Especially this one down here. And it's not as good as at feeding the plate trains in either, which is what makes it worthwhile. I mean, that wasn't too terrible. And in fact, well, this one here, if you see how long this one potentially takes, it's only just left. Well, I guess it was the one that kind of highlighted just how much we needed the revised with the pre-stackers across the breadth here. See, this one's not even coming down here. If you take 1/6 of the productivity of 140,000 off, that's 24,000 of your potential is not being realized. Are we finally coming down here? We might be. No, that one's heading to here, so we still don't have one here. So while this is going on, you can see these furnaces have basically stopped. So this is iron smelting 5. If we are to employ our new device, we'll basically need a whole bunch of landfill through here. So I think what I'll do is I will invite the landfill train to come to iron smelting 5 as a first step. Hashtag iron smelting 5 until inventory empty. The landfill's still basically 47 million, so that's going to survive for quite a while. I'm not sure how long this whole process has been, and I don't have the blueprint that I want, so I'll get a new blueprint. And basically this here is kind of a perfect model, or either that. Well, I mean, this one is, but it doesn't have the refueling. So with the refueling included, this is kind of the perfect model. So I guess I will make a copy of this one to about this point. No, actually, I don't want to be quite as far in as that. We'll do it from about here. And now I have the very awkward situation of there, that's where I want to get to. No, that's where I want to get to. And basically I think I want to be just shy of that. Yes, that's right. We don't need those. Oh, where did that guy end up? I think that's the one that we need. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, if we come back to our map here, this is just to give us an idea of, do I need to move where the engineering train is, and how much additional landfill do I need to put in. That's basically what I'm trying to work out. I'll then go and get the engineering train, do the landfill, and then we'll see about upgrading this, but I'm not going to be able to do all of that just at this second, I'm pretty sure. Let's use InfiniZoom. That should do. There we go. So we're basically talking about, no, that's not the one. This is the one that I just did. Well, we don't need the entirety of this, obviously, and in fact, it well, it works from a lower starting point. I'd forgotten that. So this is moved down so that it's more central. But whoops, we need to be out of map mode. It's hard to tell that you're not in map mode when you're in InfiniZoom. Right, if we go to about there. So, yes, that's what I was concerned about, the fuel train over here. We are kind of all over it. So we're going to have to divert here and cut off this bit. Well, it's not cut off as such. I mean, we can put miners on the other side of the line. It's only occasionally used, but we still need to move it. So there's that. what else? I would like to know just how far back it goes. I'm going to have to use more InfiniZoom just so I can see the entire thing. That's probably too far. Okay, so if that is about there, interestingly enough, because this intersection is on this side rather than the other side, the fuel doesn't actually go back that far. In fact, the fuel's slightly closer, but this has to extend to the back. Alright, well that's quite good. So, if we... so just past this point, all the way up, and basically from round about there, up here as well. If we filled in all of that, we'd be fine at this from this lower part, and then well, sort of where this intersection is, if we filled in up there, since I can't see myself, let's hope I don't hit a train. Well, this is going to have to move down, so somewhere up there. In fact, let's switch over to map mode. Yeah, we'll probably basically need to fill in this chunk and work out how this is going to wrap round for the new one. Let me... Okay, so this has arrived. I saw a fuel train come in, so we're probably not going to need another one for a while. So that's a good thing. Let's get out of InfiniZoom. I will do that landfill and rejoin you in a bit, and I'll check how much time we've got left for this episode. It's probably not that much because of all of the jumping arounds we've done. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit anyway. And we are back with the result after ploughing down a bunch of landfills. So what I want to do now is obviously our usual block off the traffic so that we can clear the stack. And I'm actually running up here so that I can clear this this one. I'll get behind. I don't want to have this sort of halfway across, so I want to stop it sort of back here. So let's do that. That will stop entry from this end, and I want to basically stop it over here as well. Of course that one wants to go. Let's play roulette with the train roulette. Of course they're halfway around the corner, so we're going to have to come up here to stop them. Oh, only got landfill on me. Okay, I just need to snip about here and here. Excellent. Right, that'll give us an opportunity to clear out the stack. Now, what difference should all of this make? If I haven't explained that in the past, what I was observing is these stacks should be able to do about 140,000 plates each. I have 3 of them, so that's 420,000 potential, but I was finding prior to extra extensions that are outside of these stacks for steel and for green circuits, we were lucky if we even got to 360,000, even if demand was high and they were all screaming for ore, for plates, for iron plates. So clearly they were not running at peak performance. To the tune of, well, let's say they're even getting to 360, so that's 60,000 or 20,000 per stack. So just by improving the throughput here, I can basically increase production by 20,000 per stack that I do it to. Probably more actually, but sort of at least 20,000. So that is why we are doing it. So let's have a quick look. We're just waiting for these ones to clear out. We need to move this track so that it can veer off. In fact, let us plan on that kind of now. It's basically from this. Oh, I need my stuff. Let's put the landfill away, get our normal stuff back so that we can do this and keep a bit. Oh, productivity 311 has finished. Alright, well, let's go into 312. Let's quickly check how we are doing here. That's not really going to show us anything because it's the middle of the night, so it's just running on accumulators. Oops, it's over here that our stuff is. Okay. So what we need to do is basically turn off about here, I think. Let's see if I can remember, because it's been overnight since I was last on. That is the problem with... that's the one, actually. That is the problem with doing something that involves a whole bunch of cuts while I fill in some stuff in between. It ends up taking quite a long period of time. Now I just want to see roughly around here, if we go to InfiniZoom, just where we need to cut. That should do. I don't need the whole thing. Rotate you once. So yeah, it's something like that. So we have to turn prior to this one by the tree, is basically the case, which I think we have enough room for. Alright, let's go back and try and sort that out. It looks like we're almost through the backlog of trains there, and very shortly we'll have a bit of a crisis. So there's the tree. Okay, let's just rip out track there. And is that really the tree that I meant though? Yeah, it probably is. So if that went like that, would that be sufficient? At this point, I actually don't know. Let me just whack that down. And we'll go and do our InfiniZoom again and see if that's actually going to work, or whether I need to sort of do a diagonal. I might actually need to do a diagonal. That should do. Maybe we need a little bit more zoom out. Yeah, that actually does look like it will work. So that's good. And it would help if I didn't keep pressing the 5-second kill list. Never mind. Let's clear out a bunch of those things and place a another corner. I think that was far enough away, but we'll also verify that just quickly. Much better to get this right now than have tears later. Yep, that's well clear, so that's fine. Alright. I keep going to hit M for changing map mode. I don't want to depower this area just yet, so I'll just rip up the track and come back for the poles once this is all connected. We need a bunch of stuff gone from here as well. Whoops. Oh well, so much for that plan. And this looks like it's a slightly short connection, but that's fine. The wire is present, so we just need to manually connect it up. And there's probably a segment going in the other direction that needs a manual connection. Could probably do with some of these, but never mind. Yeah, just here. The traffic along this is not normal traffic volumes, it's just when there's a fuel train required. So that's the redirecting of our and this one. Our fuel refueling, or some of the redirecting. It's probably not all. I want to revamp this mine as well, but there's only a limited amount of time for this whole process. Let's check empty, 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 and empty, so we can now rip out all of this stuff. Oh, I actually want these to clear a bit further ideally, so I might have to let this side allow a couple of trains through. Is that actually going to help though? It might do. I don't want this train here basically. Why isn't this one pulling in? Aha. That will fix up half my problem. Never even noticed that. So yeah, this this ore field here has obviously had an issue. So that should have this. Oh, why aren't you moving now? There you go. Just takes a while. Takes a while to react when you have sub 30 UPS. But when the new solar has finished, we should go back to something a little bit better. Is that enough for you guys to move? No. So it wasn't even these things causing the hold up. It's over here, so obviously this one's trying to get into here. Where are you trying to go? Iron 17. Alright, hold up a second guys. I think we can fix this. We just need to... oh, excuse me. We just need to temporarily provide an alternate route for... oh, that's interesting. Actually, I don't need this connection, but it is better to have these things than not. We need an alternate route for the trains, as in a lane switcher, just so that they can clear because I don't really want these things blocking here, so that I can rip it all out. Slightly time consuming, running at 26 UPS. But we'll get there in the end. So yeah, this one just needs to be able to hop over the lanes, so it can avoid this one. Like, whoops, wrong direction. And like so. Now, where's this one trying to get to? 17, so that will clear out. And where's this one trying to get to? 17. Alright, that's 15, that's 17 up there, so that should be fine. They all should get out of the way, and it should be safe very soon to cross over here and get out of the way ourselves. And now we can rip up anything that's in the way, which is probably most of this. Let me just advance up a bit further. Do one more in Vini Zoom just to see where and what we should rip up. But I am thinking that it is most of this stuff. Okay, get a bit closer. So yeah, we can ill afford creating new stacks when we've got this sort of thing going on, even if it is due to the solar. Alright, that'll have to do. Let's use Vini Zoom till we can see the starting point. Hopefully that's enough to see the ending point of this. I think that's where we want to get to. Initially it's all this entrance plus the fuel, I guess, will do, which I probably could have told you before I even did that, but never mind. Alright, and again, there's a 5-second kill. Nothing's died in the last 5 seconds. Awesome. So maybe I will quickly do one last cut to rip all this out, and then we can come back for planting down the new the alternate. There's obviously other things we need to do after that, but yeah, we'll have a quick cut. And back. So we probably don't have, we still have some radar coverage it seems, but basically I left all of the fuel chests over here so that I didn't have to pick up tons and tons of rocket fuel, because that would just be annoying until we've got somewhere to put them. The rest of up to here has all been painted with deconstruction. So what we'll do is we will go back to Vini Zoom and place, finally, if I can find it now, our, that looks like it. And that looks like what I want to do. So that puts in our ore side, and at least now the bots can rip up the old stuff and start clearing it out by placing down new stuff. Obviously this is not going to work, so we're going to go to super crawl mode. I'll let this lot finish up off the episode, but just to see when we're going to get some UPS back. How are we doing over here? Well, it's going quite well. There's obviously a lot more to do though. since all this area has been panelled. Let's take a quick look at the electrical grid. It's slowly increasing, so we can get a bit of a reading as to how much has been done, I guess, but it might take a little bit too long to get there, so we might leave that for next episode as well. But anyway, thanks for joining me for this. There's quite a lot of work on this side. We're going to have to landfill out to somewhere here probably to be able to do the other side, but I think I should do the other side and increase this to the 4 lanes entrance. But yeah, all of that can wait for next time. So thanks for joining me for this celebration of 20,000 satellites launched and our revamp of the stack. Looking forward to seeing you with the next, when hopefully our UPS will recover from the building project. See you then, guys. Bye bye for now.